You know, I'm going to finish this, and I may be talking loud, and I sure hate to miss place to stay here. It's killing me. I'm allergic to chemicals. That's a genetic, maybe. I don't know if that goes back to the royal family or not. But the fact that I'm going to say this and then get back to that. The fact that I put a video up and it was taken down. I put another one up later, but I thought they were. Anyway, I'm not going to get into anything else about that. Uh, anyway, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. Let me get back to being down in Cobb County and trying to get my divorce executed, so I had a little bit of money to keep me off the street. And mind you, I'd had everything done to me in Thomaston, Georgia, and then later, again, I was taken to Lawrenceville, where Larry Flint was taken when he was, for all accounts, he's well, he had his guts, to put it bluntly, with a magnum blown all over the sidewalk of Lawrenceville, Georgia, when I was doing the book in Marietta, not too far away from him. So all this is happening. So there's a trail to D.C., to the Reagans, to out and back up and out, and all this telling about mind control and Hinckley and programmed and all this. Later, the Bloomingdale tapes, and well, I don't know if that was later, but anyway, nobody wants to hear the Bloomingdale tapes, the Bohemian Club. That was me that first mentioned the Bohemian Club 2 years ago, right after I was out at Flint's in that campaign. Now that I want to get to Marietta and where I'm filing just to get my divorce executed and give me a little money to live on till I could try to get a job. And the inspector, you don't call them inspectors. He took me back and back and asked me was I sure that was my name? Was I sure that that was my eye color? By the way, this went off with my eye color. it, Things seem to happen just at this moment of importance, like the book that I put up stating that the doctor from Spain and some woman on my YouTube commented, well, you were telling how good looking. I also said it was ethical and was concerned about my son being born, my second one, and not having lab work done on my first one, Mark. There wasn't that much time between them, and the same OBGYN was taking care of me with Scott. He shows up. I put this video up. He's from Spain. The royal family of Spain is related to me, just like Elizabeth, just like etc. I hate to say Elizabeth; she's illegal. Anyway, I put this up on the YouTube, and I mentioned how nice looking he was, and he was nice looking. I didn't, so I also said how ethical he was and the fact he was concerned. I never saw him before, never saw him after. The OBGYN that delivered my first son was delivering this one, was writing outside his own office. Now, this gentleman stepped in and was concerned that my sons should have had the lab work done, that Mark might have needed a blood transfusion, and now then he wants me to get one done because Scott's doing a week. And, well, he ordered it. Very nice man, doctor, and good looking. And some lady comes on and says that he's Hispanic, and she made comments about me saying he was good looking. Did he look like an actor? You missed the point. He was good looking, the best I can remember. And he was from Spain, so I don't know if you call him Hispanic. Anyway, and he ordered blood transfusion that was never done, and then it's ongoing. I've told what happened then at the hospital and about Scott. So back to this. I'm sitting in Cobb County Police Department, and he goes back and I filled out to get my divorce some money from it to keep me, give me a place to live for a while. Maybe I can find a job. See, I had a job. I just wasn't getting paid for it, all this. Not one I volunteered for either. I want my job back that Elizabeth stole, her and her parents, and she works for the Illuminati. It's doing all this to me. Okay, the inspector gets up. He walks back to a computer and he comes back and he says, well, the Secret Service, Call and Cox, have want to come down and talk to you. Now then, they contacted my ex-husband. I'm here, been up to Reagan's and simply turned a book over, all packaged neatly in a little box with a letter from the FBI where I'd done the book and where the refusals came, but almost was taken by Revell. All this and stuff, I don't know, stuff in the box. And they had the letter from the FBI and the letter where I'd done the book on the outside. So Ronald Reagan's adopted son was the one with it on his lapel that logged it in and took it. I handed it to him. Now, on the way back, all this happens. I get taken out in Thomaston, Georgia, the forestry there, and what happened to me was horrible. Everything, stripped of everything, tied up, left. Now that I've made it to Atlanta, and somebody helped me pay for a night or two, and I contacted my ex-husband. It was hard to find him. He was living in Atlanta. You wonder whose side he's on. Okay, so now then, the inspector comes back and he says, the Secret Service want to talk to you. You have to laugh. It's so hideous you want to scream, but if you didn't laugh, what are you going to do? So I'm sure somebody's going to kick me out of here. They're going to hear me at 7 o'clock in the morning and kick me out, I guess. People laugh all night long in here, but hey, me's me and them's them. And the rules don't apply the same. Anyway, so I wait, and I thought, my God, Secret Service wants to talk to me. So then, except you have to know the names they're using, how they fit in. So they come in, and they look like they're just out of high school or college, maybe. And I laughed because I couldn't get through it. I'm simply I've had all this done. I didn't break the law. I didn't do anything to Ronald Reagan. I was just telling in the book I wrote about mind control, etc. Had documents in there. So now then, here are these two Secret Service that look like they're maybe college. So they talked to me. I can't even remember what they said, if they even hardly talked to me. And it's really not funny if you were living it. They walk out behind me. I have no place to go. And they said, good luck or something. And I said, well, I don't have anywhere to go. And I'm not going to tell you where I ended up that night. Right back at Lois Pearson's, where in April of Fool Day of 80, she almost, with the doctors, had me killed. It's what they used on me. I should not have walked away. She went on living her life. She could have done this to me again. I didn't have anywhere else to go. And God help me. The police up here out in Fincastle here outside it's travel road up where I lived on the Appalachian Trail. They actually knew what she did. They did. They told me, and they were absolutely right. So I'm left on the street again, and I'm going down to the Secret Service downtown Atlanta. Why doesn't somebody do something? So you get the gist. After dropping this off at Ronald Reagan, the White House, all this happens to me just this time, and you don't want to hear what happened later. I'm going to leave it at that because last night on CNN, HLN's a part of it. So if you could get the gist of all these, there were mind control murders. They're the ones I've always talked about. I put it up on YouTube, Facebook. I've turned it over to the media. There's got to be records. So I'm going to lose my train of thought, and I got to get up and get some stuff done today. Oh, Ronald Reagan, the Bloomingdale tapes, and I could tell you what was on the Bloomingdale tapes. Oh, wow. I won't know, Okay, where am I going with it now? I didn't have a place to stay. Ended up the only place I knew to go was back out there. And then, yes, the law enforcement have always known. And some of them are good or I wouldn't be alive. So, well, I don't know. I might be dead too, because I can remember Jack Hartsfield back in Huntsville saving my life, and you should see what was being done to me. Illegal as heck. Anyway, oh, I know what now. Let me get this up. Last night on these murders, and every one of them are ones that I told about that were done in patterns. And all these psychiatrists, forensic, all these doctors, all these so-called people who are educated with PhDs, uh, all kinds of MDs and all this, were interviewed in each of these murders. The bomber, the etc., the Mark David Chapman, he didn't even know he was programmed. How in the heck is he going to defend himself? So they called it by reason of insanity. And here's what I've told you is going on. They're using, just like at Virginia Tech here, the mass shootings. They're in like James Holmes in Aurora, Colorado. Grand Theater, by the way. Take that in. He was put in a mental hospital, and I'm going to say this again. That's programming. You deprogram them. You just stop the programming, and they'll go back probably to the way their behavior it should be. Their behavior is not just modified, it's controlled. Now, what if this is all told? Because I sit and watched part of this, and I was appalled because Holmes is treated up in Aurora, Colorado for mental illness. He's no more mentally ill than Hinckley was. And Hinckley spent most of his life at St. Elizabeth's mental facility outside Washington, D.C. What if, by the grace of God or somebody, the truth is told other than me telling it on YouTube and Facebook and to all the media, and they don't want to hear it? What if you get to hear all these professionals telling what they thought of Mark David Chapman? He's schizophrenic. He's all these others, what they were sociopaths or psychopaths or all these disorders they had, which is a bunch of bull. Now then, I've always asked, what about your psychiatrists? What about the doctors? And I want to say this, there's some good ones, thank God, here in Roanoke area. I don't know, I hope it's told and you have to listen to it. And then accept the truth that these people, Scott Peterson's going to be put to death. He's got a good attorney, Mark Garrigus. I have a feeling he's still his attorney. He's a good man, and if he's bad, then everybody's bad. Yeah, I believe that. I believe he's a very good attorney. I'm going to leave it here because if you ever run all this past and see the truth, what all these professionals have been, I'm talking about former FBI, I'm talking about your doctors, your lawyers, your professionals that are supposed to know what they're doing. They're being interviewed. They didn't interview me. They run me out of their place quicker than Jack Rabbit. I guess that's right. So I'm going to leave. And if this, I mean, for right now, if this will go up, I'll see you in a little bit. What's everybody going to say? Because mental illness has nothing to do with mind control, but they've used it. It goes back to Martin Luther King. It goes back further than that when they kidnapped me and King Ferdinand was shot. It's the Tesla files that were stolen. But this connects Martin Luther King with JFK, using the mental health as the blame when you're using mind control, and it's mass now. So that's where it's at.